welcome back to CanHammer, your source for 40k from the Great White North. Today's tactics video, using infiltrators. Welcome back to CanHammer, everybody, your source for 40k from the Great White North. Today's tactics video is on the use of infiltrators. Now, not all armies have units that can infiltrate, so let me just explain what I mean by infiltrate, because that's no longer a rule. But infiltrate basically is a reference to 7th edition, but it's any unit or model that has the ability to start on the table when you deploy somewhere forward of your own deployment zone. So I have in front of me here Space Marine Scouts, and the reason why Space Marine Scouts are so good in this edition, first of all, they're the cheapest troop choice for Space Marines in order to get your CP from filling out a battalion, but most importantly is they have the ability to start on the table somewhere other than your deployment zone, and they that is important for a number of reasons, and this cuts to the heart of using infiltrators in your army if you have access to them. First of all, by starting outside of your deployment zone, keeping in mind that everybody, when they deep strike, needs to be 9 inches away from you, you take up board space, and control of board space is super important in 8th edition 40k. So the more forward you can put your elements right at the beginning of the game, the more further back you push your opponent's deployment options. So that's number one, it takes up space. Number two, when a unit of scouts is, say, over here, and you have a character back here, your enemy cannot shoot your character because they're the closest unit. Even if these guys are out of line of sight, they cannot target your character. So by having forward infiltrating units, you actually shield your characters for at least one turn. So that's very important as well. And then, of course, the final ability is that if there are objectives in the middle of the table and it's important for you to get on them first or to get on them early, your infiltrating units can do that. And often these units are not worth a lot, they don't kill a lot, but they just rack up points for you by sitting on things, and sometimes they can be very difficult to dig out. Nurglings are another perfect example of Chaos's ability to infiltrate, take up space, hold objectives with painfully difficult to kill units sometimes. So those are the big uses of infiltrators. And the other bit of the tactic of using infiltrators is that if you have them, usually, especially if your opponent has infiltrators as well, you gotta deploy them first. So if you have infiltrators like scouts that deploy during your deployment phase, those should be the first things you put down in order to take up space. And obviously, if your opponent doesn't have any infiltrators, then it's not that important. But if you're going to be alternating deployment of infiltrating units, you want to be taking up as much space as possible. Now, whether you clump them or put them in a line to take up as much space as possible really depends on the opponent that you're playing, but those are definitely deployment options for infiltrators. So that's just a quick tactics video on use of infiltrators. I hope you found that useful. That's certainly something that I did not use effectively until more recently, when I understood how powerful it was for you to have the ability to infiltrate, and that you should be doing that first. Thanks very much for watching, guys. If you have any other tactics videos you want to see, please let us know in the comments below. Click on the like, subscribe to the channel, and consider supporting us on Patreon by clicking the link up there. Thanks very much, and we'll see you next time.